What's going on, everybody? It's a beautiful day outside. It's awesome looking out the windows and seeing snow and the sun, and it's just beautiful, and it just makes you feel like Christmas, even though it's February, but it still feels great. And so I thought, hey, everybody's gonna feel great, everybody's gonna have a good mood, everybody's gonna be all jolly. So let's chop them up a little bit. I can get away with it today because people will be they'll be a little bit more happy. So I thought, let's do it. And I did this morning this video where I said, we love posting about things and doing nothing about it. That's what it is. America's huge on that. We have so much outrage. We have so much disdain for disdain things, this whatever, we're angry about stuff, right? I'm trying to use bigger words, right? We're angry about things, but we don't do nothing. A lot of this and no action. And why is that? Why? Because if you look throughout history, when things got changed, good or bad, people got up and did something. They didn't just talk about it. Yeah, maybe at the beginning they talked about it and it kind of passed around and little rumbles came around. But eventually they had to do something. You eventually have to get up off the couch and go do something. Put the phone down. Stop texting, stop looking on Facebook, stop doing all these things that's pointless, that's not helping you, and go do something. But no, we love to sit on the couch, we'll watch what's going on, and then we'll post. And we'll post all these angry things or how this or that. And what are we doing? We're causing division. So the country is not coming together. The country is starting to pick sides. You have to pick a side. You're this way or you're that way. You're Republican, you're Democrat, you're conservative, you're liberal, you're whatever. We're having to pick sides. And it's frustrating because it doesn't make any sense. And the reason it doesn't make any sense is because it's the easy thing to do. It is. It's the easy thing to do. It's so easy to sit and talk about things and not do anything. Because for you to change it means you probably have to look in the mirror at yourself first and see, are you part of the problem? Are you part of the solution? And a lot of us are part of the problem and not the solution. So first you got to change yourself. Then you need to look at your family, see what's going on within your own family. Then see what's going on within your own community, and then see what's going on within the state and within the country. So there's levels to it. And as soon as you tell people, hey, you got to change yourself, most give up. Yeah, most give up right there. But then when you tell you got to change your family and your city and your community and state and all that, they're like, oh, well, I got to do this and I got to work and, I got to go to the gym. You haven't been to the gym in 5 years, but I got to go to the gym and I got to spend time with my kids, even though you don't even know what age your kids are and all this stuff. We put all these things, excuses in front of it. And you know what? I'll just support it. I'll post on it, I'll share. Most of you don't even share. But we like to sit and do it because we don't want to do nothing. We don't. Our biggest thing we love doing is throwing money at the problem. We'll throw money at the problem and hope somebody else fix it. But we'll feel good about it because we're like, oh yeah, I donated. Oh, I supported. I gave money to this. But is it getting fixed? Is it? I'm just wondering. So I looked it up because y'all know I love numbers, right? So I looked this up. So this is just 2019. Just 2019. This is not overall like many years combined. This is just last year. Just last year. $51 billion. $51 billion were given to the top 100 charities. 51 billion, not million, $billion was given to the top 100 charities. All right, so some of the top ones: United Way, $3 billion they got last year. Feeding America, $2.8 billion. Salvation Army, over $2 billion. Red Cross, $3.6 billion they were given last year in donations. Just donations. Just donations. And out of that $51 billion given, that was only 12% of the total amount given last year. So it was over $500 billion Americans gave last year to charities and nonprofits and churches and all that stuff. Over $500 billion, half a trillion was given. Now, that's awesome. That's amazing right there, right? That people actually gave money, because coming from working with the church and coming and being there and seeing, right? I don't want to even get into all that, but to see that people gave that much money, that's amazing. Okay, but let's see how many people actually went and did something, right? So last year, 63 million people went out and did volunteer hours. Now, the funny thing is, when I was reading this, I was remembering my own lifestyle, my old past, and all the times what court tell me I had to go volunteer. Not that I just went and volunteered because I wanted to help somebody, but I had to do it so that I didn't go back to jail. So it doesn't give you a breakdown of how many people actually volunteered because they wanted to volunteer compared to they volunteered because they had to volunteer. So, hey, but 63 million Americans, right? We'll just take that number. They gave 8 billion hours. Wow, 8 billion hours. That's awesome. Okay, 8 billion hours. 32 hours each. Out of those 62 million, it breaks down to 32 hours that they gave throughout the whole year. Now, 32 hours, okay, that's probably a month of Netflix time for most people. So, in a whole year, 63 million gave that many hours for the whole year, which, if we were honest, I like to see people's Netflix hours for just a month and see how much time they spent in that. It might be close just for a month, just for one person, but let's not talk about Netflix. All right. So there's 330 million people in America. 333 million people in America today. So 63 million, which came out to about 19%. So 19% of the country gave volunteer hours. 19%, okay, it's not a huge number. And they gave 8 billion hours. Now, if we think about that 8 billion hours in comparison to how much money was given, how much money was actually given, over $500 billion was given last year. That 8 billion is only about 2% of that 500 billion given. Now, it was great that that much money was given out. But the problem is, are things getting changed? So 500 billion was given last year, just last year. It's a lot of money. And when I walk outside and drive around in Abilene, I see homeless people. I see people struggling. I see people who have drug addictions because we have a men's home. So I see a bunch of people coming in with drug addictions. I see a bunch of poverty. I see a bunch of parts of Abilene that are just run down and the buildings are abandoned and they're broken up. And this is just Abilene. Let's not talk about what we see in America. But 500 billion was given last year to charities. So where's all this money going? Huh? Where is all this money going? Is it actually changing anything? Or, I don't want to get into who gets what and, because there's a whole bunch of different things. So I'm not talking about that. But there's obviously needs to be a bigger study here, because in 1 year, 500 billion can be given out, but it don't seem like nothing's changing. So yeah, somebody's ripping off somebody. But 8 billion hours compared to 500 billion given in money. So what it shows is we love throwing money at the problem, makes us feel all good, and we can lay down at nighttime and say, I gave today, I did something, but only 8 billion hours given. Only 19% of the population actually went out and did anything. Anything. 19% actually got up and went and did something. That's a huge disconnect. We give money, nothing gets done, so we complain about it on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all this stuff. We complain. And so what we do? Oh, let's throw more money at the problem. Nothing gets done. We complain. Let's throw more money at the problem. Or, especially now, let's make the government fix it. You fix it for us. Trump, you do this. Warren, you do this. Sanders, you do this. All this. Let's let them fix it. They're not fixing it either. Because you haven't really cared that much about it. If you really cared about the issue, you would fix the issue. But what we do is we throw money at the problem, or we tell somebody else to fix the problem for us, and then you don't fix the problem and nothing gets done. But you can sit and you can complain and you can whatever on Facebook and all this stuff and rile people up. Yeah! Oh yeah! Shh! You ain't doing nothing, so shut up! That's the most frustrating people. I don't even want to go deep. Okay. And so I was thinking about this, right? There was a little bit of a rant, but I just want you all to look at this. Look at the numbers, look at how people actually did something. There's a huge difference in it, and see why the world has changed in the worse than it has changed for the worst, then changed for the better, okay? And so I was thinking, why is that? Why are we so divided? The church is one of the most divided places there is. The church is so divided. They do not work together. They do not try to fix things. What do? They try to jockey for position. Oh, well, we're this level, and we're this, and we're that, and we're this, and so we don't work with them, and we don't do that, and we don't work with them, and we want to fix it, and if you're not part of our clique or our gang, then hey, we can't work with you. You're doing an amazing thing, but you don't work, you're not part of our clique, so we can't do nothing for you. The church is so divided, so the people are so divided. I don't care if you believe in God. I don't care if you go to church. I don't care any of that. I don't care what denominations you are, what religion you are, whatever. I don't care. We are divided as a people. And the church is supposed to be driving the culture, not the other way around. We're supposed to be driving the government, the culture, the entertainment. We're supposed to be driving it. But what we do, we let it drive us. And then we let it divide us. And so what do? We complain. Oh yeah, we complain. Oh, don't watch this. Look what they're doing. Shut up. Go fix it then. Organize people and go fix it. Throughout history, that's how stuff was done. Look at history. But most people don't want to look at history. They just like seeing what's going on in the moment. What's going on in the moment. Not what we've been through. Not what's to come. What's going on right now. Who's dating who? Oh, Bernie Sanders said this. Oh, Trump said this. Oh, this pastor said this. Oh, look who's, divorcing who. Whatever. Stupid crap that doesn't do anything but cause division. And then we wonder why nothing is getting done. Like I said, you have to look in the mirror first. Are you part of the problem or are you part of the solution? Because I'm going to guess probably 9 out of 10 of you are part of the problem. And that's why stuff's not getting done. Hey, we're all called to do different things. We're not all going to fix the same problem. but you're called to fix something. That's what these past couple of teachings, that's what I'm going to hit on even more coming, is that we are called to greatness. We are called to fix the world. We are called to drive what's supposed to be going on in our culture and our society and all these different issues. But we're not doing it. We're just letting it work itself out. And then we wonder why it's not working. Or we complain that it's not working, but we're not working it. Yeah, it can sound like I'm a little upset, right? And it can sound like I'm coming down on people, but I am. Because it's the most frustrating thing to watch. I hate hearing about this problem and that problem and this problem and don't watch this person and boycott this and all this stuff. But we're not coming together and trying to figure out how to fix it. I don't care what your background is. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what denomination you claim. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care none of that. We're all people. And we need to work together. Find out where we can connect and work together. Especially the church. Especially the church. Now, I'm not saying change your beliefs for somebody else's beliefs, because that's what people will say. Oh, you're trying to say what you even want, right? They come on this old stupid thing about like, oh, well, you're saying we're all going to become one world nation and all that. No, I'm talking about we can work together. We can work together because at the core of us is that we're humans. And at the core of us, God made all of us, not some, all of us. So at the core of us, we really do want to see people succeed. We do want to see people helped. We do really want to love people. But we just don't know how to do it. And we get in our own ways and we let religious dogma hold us back and say, I can't work with you, or you're that color, so I can't do you, or you believe this, or whatever. So I don't even want to come around you. I've been watching this old thing from 2011, right? And it's these pastors that got together, and they're all from so many different backgrounds, and they came together and they've been talking about this issue and saying, I didn't know you, but my friends, my people, my clique told me I shouldn't even come to this because you are this and that and this and that, and I shouldn't get around you. And so I had hesitation, but I came anyways, and I sat down with you, and we had dinner, and we talked, and now we're friends. Yeah, we do have some different beliefs on certain religious dogma, but at the core of us, we know that Jesus died for us, that he saved us, and that he wants us to work together and love each other, and that he's the only way to salvation. And hey, if we can come to agreement with that, we can work together. We can figure stuff out. Let's not let this religious dogma hold us back from working with each other. And these are big time pastors. I'm not going to name names, right? But these are big time people. These ain't no like small little community things, right? These are people who are movers and shakers in the whole world. Not just the church world, the whole world. And they're talking about how they even had their own prejudice towards somebody else because they don't come from their denomination, or they look like this, or so-and-so told them this, or they heard that, or whatever. And they're saying, why do we let this happen? Why? What's the reason for this? And it's because we let our own prejudice and our own mindsets get into the way, and we forget the calling of what Jesus told us to do. And they're saying we need to come together and work together. And what's the coolest thing is that these people, these pastors, they're talking about this, I've seen them been working together over these years. And I've seen so many churches and people come against them for working together and saying all this horrible stuff about them. Because they've been working together, because they're going towards the same goal, is to save souls. And hey, we might argue about some different things and have some different mindsets on different ways, but we have the same goal. And as you get to know somebody, you get to see you have similarities. You have things in common. And stuff that you might have thought about them was a misconception or a miscommunication or a prejudice that you didn't even know you had because somebody else told you it. You didn't know it for yourself, somebody else told you it. And this is why we're not working together. This is why the church is so divided. This is why the world is so divided. This is why the racial classes are divided. This is why the economical classes are divided, because we don't want to work together, because I don't like you because of this, even though I don't know you. Right? When Jesus was talking about darkness and light, he was not talking about this whole like actual light thing. He was talking about ignorance and wisdom. Ignorance is not knowing, ignorance is like you holding back from something because you don't know about it. Or just claiming, well, I don't know nothing about that, and so it doesn't affect me. We're not looking into things. We're not learning each other. We're letting our own ignorance hold us back. And this is why we're failing. We're not succeeding. Do not sit there and try to say that the world is succeeding, because it's not. We are more divided in every single aspect of this country than we ever have been. And we can blame it on all these things, and we can blame it on all these people, but look in the mirror first and say, am I the problem or am I the solution? Because once we can actually be honest with ourselves, and once we actually change ourselves, we can change our family, we can change our communities, we can change our state, and we can change our country. But it starts with us being honest and saying, I'm not going to just push you away because of this, or I don't like you, or I don't know you. I'm going to sit down and have a conversation with you and see, do we have any similarities? Are we going on the same goal? Yes, we're going the same way. We just might be on different paths. But we don't want to do it. It's easier to push away. It's easier to say, well, they're not Baptist, or they're not, Jehovah's Witness, or they're not Mormon, or they're not Jewish, or they're not whatever. It's so much easier to say that. And so what do? We claim ignorance. Well, they're not part of my clique, so we can't work together because, no. My leaders say we shouldn't work with them because they're not Mormon. Or my leaders say we shouldn't work with them because they're not Jehovah's Witness, or because they're not Baptist, or because they're not Catholic, or because whatever, so many denominations. No, the church should be working together. If we all supposedly believe the same thing, why are we not working together? Why are we letting stupid little religious dogma hold us back? That's what the Pharisees did. That's what the Sadducees, that's what all they did. And that's why they came against Jesus. They were like, you're not following our religious rules. And Jesus is like, your rules? I am the rule. I don't care about your rules that man made. Care about that? I am the word. And we're still arguing about the same thing today. Well, my rules say this, so I can't work with you. I've seen it in my own life. It's crazy. It's crazy how I've seen it, how people have turned me down from talking or doing things. They say, I love what you're doing. I love what you're saying. Our people need this. But you're not part of my clique, so sorry. Can't talk with us. So you just liked what I said. You said your people need it, but because I don't claim your clique, I can't do it. So what you're saying is, I don't care about my people. I care about my rep. I care what the higher ups say about me, so I'm not going to work with you. What? And then we expect things to change. It ain't going to change if you don't change. And then actually step up and do something. Go out there and volunteer. Go out there and organize and change groups. Go out there and do something. We could change the world if we wanted to change it, but we like to sit in our own comfortable household, and we like to fight against people, and we like to post, and we like to go back and forth and comment and say all these stupid things and do all these stupid things, and then we wonder why nothing's working. All right, I know I went on a rant for a little bit, right? But hey, it was needed. And I just want to get people to start talking about it and start looking in the mirror and seeing, you part of the problem or you part of the solution. So here's a couple verses, right, to kind of bring this all home, because I want people to know that it's not just me, right? This was going on in the Bible time, and even Jesus had to correct this with his own disciples. But we're still doing it because we don't listen, right? We say we listen to the word, but we don't actually listen to the word. We argue about the word instead of listen to it. We like to make points instead of progress. We like to be right and cause division. Yeah. All right. So this is in Luke. All right. So this is in Luke 9. Now they're going and they're walking. All right. And they're going, and John comes up to Jesus and he says, this is verse 49. John replied, "Master, we saw someone driving out demons in your name, and we tried to stop him because he does not follow along with us." Wow, that sounds like the church community today, right? Oh, you're doing amazing things. You're changing the world. You're helping people, but you don't belong to my clique. So I got to stop you. Yeah, sounds just like us today. So Jesus replies, "Do not stop him, for he who is not against you is for you." So Jesus is saying he's casting out demons in my name. He's doing what I've called people to do. Why are you stopping him? So if they're helping the community, if they're changing the world, if they're fixing lives, why are you stopping them? Just because they don't claim your clique? Just because they ain't part of your gang or part of your cult? Right? Oh, I'm just wondering. All right, let's just go down. The disciples are so funny because they're just like us today, and Jesus is like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. How many times I got to chop you people up? You can't get this. All right, just a little bit further down. Jesus just said, "Who is for you is not against you." Now, when the time was approaching for him to be taken up, he was determined to go to Jerusalem. He sent messengers ahead of him, and they went into Samaria to make arrangements for him. And the Samaritans didn't want to do nothing for him, right? Because they had such a division right there. There was prejudice against them. And so they came to him. It says, when his disciples, this is verse 54, when his disciples, James and John, saw this, they said, "Lord, do you want us to command fire to come down from heaven and destroy them?" But he turned, so this is Jesus, he turned to his disciples and he rebuked them. "You do not know what kind of spirit you are, for the Son of Man did not come to destroy men's lives, but to save them." So James and John, right, he just corrected John just a little bit before this. He just corrected him. And John and James come and say, well, they don't want us to come there, so let's call down fire and destroy them. And Jesus is like, rebukes them. It's like, what? You don't even know what spirit you are. I didn't come to destroy their lives. But what's the church done? A lot of the church has destroyed men's lives. They've caused division, and they've caused more confusion than there was before. Because they want to fight and argue with each other, and they want to be correct. They want to be right. They want to be the top dog. There's already a top dog, and he already gave us the rules to follow. And he already told us how to do this thing. But we just don't listen. We just don't listen. It's crazy. In Matthew 28, when Jesus is giving his disciples the great command, when he's telling them what to do, he says, "Go make disciples of all the world," right? All the nations, not just some, not just the ones that look like you, not the ones that do this, not the ones that do that. He says all. That means everyone. So he's saying you have to go into their communities and you have to talk with these people. You have to become friends with these people. You have to actually share with these people, not push them away because they don't look or act or part of your clique. No, go to all the nations. This was huge in that time because Jews just stuck with Jews. And Jesus is saying, go to all the nations, not just some. And even in John 10, or I think it's verse 16, he says, I have sheep that are not yet part of this flock, but they will come to me because they will know my voice. Right? I don't think it's exactly like that, but he says, there's sheep that you don't know of yet, but they're still going to be part of me. He's saying, it's not just what you think. I came for everybody, not some, not just Baptists, not just evangel or whatever, evangelists, all these different things. I came for everyone. Love each other, work together, find out how you all are the same. Because I made all of you, not just some of you, and I gave you all gifts, and I blessed all of you. We've lost it. We've lost it. And it starts with us. Look in the mirror and see, am I the problem or am I the solution? And be honest. And now let's start working on it and start rebuilding the kingdom like it was supposed to be built. He gave us the order to build the kingdom. But we don't want to. We want somebody else to do it. I'd rather just throw money at the problem. I'd rather just tweet about it or text or just complain or boycott or whatever. I want the government to fix it for me. I want you to do it. Stop being lazy and go out there and change the world like you're supposed to. No one's going to do it if you're not going to do it. Like I said, this is a little bit of a chop up, but it's for y'all to really start looking in the mirror and seeing what role do you play in this world. Is it a major role? Or is it such a minor role that we won't even remember you soon to come? God bless. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you enjoy this weather, and I hope you hear my heart in this. It's not to come down upon you and make you feel horrible about yourself. It's for you to look in the mirror and say, I can change, I can do it, and I can be better. I have it in me. You do. You have it in you. But you gotta walk in it, receive it, and you gotta believe it. God bless.